talk about butts being pushed in short yardage situations.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about 92% success rate for the Philadelphia Eagles. Not so much for everybody else, but for the Philadelphia Eagles with Jason Kelce and the boys and Jalen Hurts and the boys, putting a couple hands right there on asses and pushing for short yardage situations. Everybody's weighing in on it now. Everybody's weighing in. Peter King wanted this thing canceled.
Yeah.
Exiled from the game.
Get it out.
It's boring, it's stupid, it's dangerous, it's rugby, is what Peter King said. Then Jason Kelce comes out and says, we take concepts from every sport. You don't like rugby? Oh, sorry, Peter King. Okay. You're so highbrow. You don't like the toughness of rugby. And then he also pointed out the fact that other teams aren't as successful as the Philadelphia Eagles. You're also kind of undercutting the skill that it takes and the power that it takes and the technique that it takes to kind of have this be a successful operations. Now we got defensive players from around the NFL and ex-NFL players. This is D-tackle Cam Hayward on Good Morning Football. He hates the damn name of the tush push. I think we're probably a big part of the problem, just projecting, calling it tush push every single day. I've seen the brotherly shove.
Saw that.
That's good.
Because it's from the city of brotherly love. But whatever the case, we know what we're talking about. The only thing that's wrong with this play is that the offensive line isn't set. It's a hard play to stop. It's 11-on-11 football, and you need to find a way to stop it. Okay, pretty high-level analysis there from Cam Hayward. Let's go to the next one here from J.J. Watt. Lots to talk about the tush push. Hate the name, he says, by the way. Unpopular opinion, if they weren't allowed to push from behind, the Eagles would still be just as successful with quarterback sneaks. Yes, it helps, but the push isn't the reason it's successful. The O-line and Jalen are. JJ's echoing what Jason Kelce said, like, hey, let's have a little bit of respect. Now, Richard Sherman dove in on the rules and whether or not it's fair. My problem with the tush push, he didn't care about the name, is the NFL literally banned defensive players from pushing other players in the offensive formation on field goals and PATs because it was a health and safety violation. But now it's okay because it benefits the offense. And Richard Sherman echoes the sentiments of a lot of defensive players that says that the NFL is actually creating rules to make defense hard and offense easy. I think that's a matter of fact, but I also think the game's in a good spot, so it's going to continue to happen. So whenever you think about all this from Richard Sherman and from all these other boys, AJ, as a guy who's the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, what are your thoughts on it? Should it be changed? Should it be adjusted? And how do you stop it?
I don't think I've never called for the old tush push to be banned. I think, like Hayward said, you got to find a way to stop it. But I think Richard Sherman's comments were the most interesting for me. Like, it's true. I was there. I was playing when you could push guys through the A gap to try to block field goals and stuff and block extra points. Why is that too dangerous, but this isn't?
Well,
True.
so
Good question.
Those guys don't have a ball in their hands, the ones that are being pushed. They're literally just human torpedoes. So the D tackles who weigh 330, 340 would be lined up right over the long snapper's shoulders. Okay, right over the long snapper's shoulders. So long snapper's like this for the field goal. Right over. Then two guys would be behind each guy. So it would be six dudes coming through just the A-gap. You remember this? Everybody was promoting the hell out of this. So then bang, snap, and then you're just murdering the long snapper, and the guards are trying their best to, like, get their arms in to stop, probably 900 pounds being pushed through each one of those guys. So I think it's a little bit different. Because like Jalen has to hold the ball still, so he's not just literally a torpedo like those D tackles were being for the field goals, but certainly worthy of a conversation about a little bit of a contradiction there between the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball.
Maybe they think like the long snapper, he's obviously defenseless. He's got his head down, he's got to snap a ball, and then he's got all that happening. Where we know this play's coming, to Cam's point, I thought Richard Sherman, that's a great argument.
Great argument.
But the officials are going to come back and say, well, this guy's a defenseless player.
Yeah, they'll say apples, oranges.
So defenses can push too.
So against the tush push, then are we shoving D linemen from the linebacker position now? Is that the way?
We should.
They have been.
That would be
well, because the running backs are kind of pushing the O lineman too, though. Like the tight end Goddard, they kind of get a push with the O lineman. They don't have the ball in their hands.
The hour is coming to an end, as is our show on ESPN. We will continue on YouTube. Sports Center's in 7 minutes. All right. Yeah, that came up quick. That came up very quick there. The end of that.
Now it's okay.
You're at 7-3.
Yeah, now, please.
Come on, old man.
Fuck, I can't believe I said it. God, I'm sorry.
There you go.
That was awful.
I did appreciate Richard Sherman taking that stance because it is a good comparison. I think it is a good argument. But to Chuck's point, it's like argument.
Reminded me of the good old days when the long snappers who had pinpoint accuracy and used to punch the dudes in the balls that used to jump. Like in college, our dudes used to have straight up throw a right or left hit, boom, right end the shaft.
Yeah, so now you're not even allowed to be on the shoulders of the long snappers, and you'll see refs and and linebackers hit D tackles. And at the beginning there was people like kind of bitching about it or whatever. But boy, I don't know how long snappers didn't have broken necks every single week, honestly, because they're down there like this. And then they're taught, to your point, if you feel any pressure on you, which you will, and you can keep your feet, you rise up with both hands, like basically trying to get both of them. That's what they're being taught. But most times they are, boom.
And those guys are typically only like 235, 240 pounds. I mean, they're smaller.
Have to be able to cover.
They're smaller dudes, right? Luke Rhodes is what, 240 pounds maybe?
Yeah. And he's
But to your point, die a slow death, what part of field goal protection, when you're talking about field goal and you can't push like the guys on the wing and the tight ends, you talked about it a couple weeks ago. That was the coaching point.